Today in our 2015 Dodge Journey, we'll be having a look at the best trailer wiring options. Okay, we have two wiring options here today. Both of these options are for Dodge Journeys that have LED taillights. Over here to our right, we have the Tekonsha T-One, part number 118536. And over here to the left, we have the Curt T-Connector, part number C56154. Now, if you're curious if your vehicle has LED taillights, if we have a look over at our Dodge Journey here, we can show you what those look like. If you have these rings with multiple lights going around the outside edge, that's when you know you have an LED taillight. If you just have a normal glass bulb inside, one on each here and one here, those are incandescent taillights. We'll talk more about those later if you need to get a wiring option for that. Now, our wiring harnesses have two main differences between them. Number one is our power output between them. Our Curt T-Connector here has 3 amps for the stop and the turn signals and 6 amps for the taillights. Now, the taillight circuit on your trailer also controls your running lights too. So if you have a trailer that has a lot of running lights or marker lights on it, you may want to step over here to our Tekonsha T-One, because this one offers 7.5 amps for the taillight circuit. So you get an extra amp and a half. So if you have 5 or 6 more lights on a trailer than you typically would see, this would be a good option for you. It has 2.1 amps for the stop and turn signals, but that extra amp and a half you get over the Curt is a nice feature for those extra running lights. Another main difference that we have is our connection for our passenger side turn signal is a lot longer in our Tekonsha wiring harness here than our Curt. Now, the reason the length of this wire is important is when you go to make your connection from your module over on the driver's side of the vehicle where it's installed and run the wire over. I found from experience installing the Curts that it's almost too short. You don't have much room to get the taillight back in place, and it makes where you mount the box a very interesting situation, because if you have it too high, you won't be able to get the wire over to the passenger side. If you have it too low, you won't be able to get the driver's side taillight back in. The Tekonsha being about 6 inches longer, it makes it a lot easier. It makes your box placement inside the bumper cover where it goes a lot less critical. It makes your install easier. One final difference that our Tekonsha wiring harness has over the Curt is the Tekonsha has a dust cover built in, whereas in the Curt, it's separate and you have to install it. I like it being built in, so you don't have to worry about it falling off. Both of our wiring harnesses will connect in the same way. They'll just tap into the vehicle's wiring. No cutting, no splicing, just unplug your taillight housing, plug one in the vehicle wiring harness and the other end in your taillight. Same goes for your LED connection here for your taillights. And this brake light, just unplug from the taillight assembly, plug in to there and plug in the harness. Now, both of these wiring harnesses will work just fine for you. They'll both connect to your battery with included wire here and fuse holders. We have all the installation hardware we need to get it installed. The fuse is included too. But from personal preference here, I'd be leaning towards the Tekonsha myself, just because it has the higher power output for the tail lights and running lights in the trailer. So if I had a trailer with a lot more lights on it, I wouldn't have to worry about putting a strain on the system. And the extra lengthened wire here makes for much easier install. Now, in all of our lighting options for the Journey, whether it has LED bulbs or incandescent bulbs, the wiring is designed to be stored outside the vehicle. It has an adequate length on it. We actually had to secure some of the excess up underneath the vehicle here. Right now we have the Curt installed. As you can see, you can secure it up to your hitch here around the safety chain loop, so it's easily accessible when you need it. All of our wiring options will look about the same as this once you're underneath the vehicle. Now, if your Dodge Journey doesn't have LED taillights, we have 2 more options here for you. Over here to the right, we have the Curt T-Connector, part number C56109. And over here to the left, we have the Tekonsha T-One, part number 118567. Okay, there's one significant difference here between our two. Our Curt just plugs into our existing wiring on our vehicle. We ground it with a self-tapping screw. We got our right side connector here. We have our left side connector here. This controls our taillights, our turn signals, and our brakes for the trailer. There's no connection to the battery at all, just these two wires here. Our Tekonsha T-One, however, we have our two connectors that do that as well. A 4-pole flat here. But we have this module here which isolates our vehicle's lighting system from the trailer. So if our trailer were to have a short, we don't have to worry about it damaging the expensive lighting circuitry inside of our vehicle. This module is powered directly to the battery, hooks up with this length of wire and fuse holder and all of our installation hardware in here, including our fuse. So our Curt is a quick and easy connection. It'll work great if you're only planning on towing a rental trailer once or twice and you're looking for something that's easy to install. Our Tekonsha is a slightly more involved install since we have to run a power wire to our battery, but it does offer us a safer wiring package for our vehicle because it isolates the vehicle's lights from the trailer. We won't have to worry about damage happening to our vehicle. And also, because this module is powered, it does increase the power output to the trailer. So if we have a trailer that has a lot of lights on it, we can power them easier. Because the Curt, it just has the same power output of whatever our vehicle's taillights and turn signals are. And you're putting a strain on those by hooking a trailer up to it. The Tekonsha will give us 2.1 amps of power for the stop and turn signals and 5.6 amps of power for the taillights. That'll be plenty to tow most trailers with a Dodge Journey, no matter how many lights you have on them. Both the Curt and Tekonsha hook into our vehicle with no cutting or splicing of any of the factory wiring. We have these connectors here. One will plug into the vehicle's wiring harness that goes to the factory taillight, and the other side will plug in place to where that wiring harness went on the taillight. So you'll have your vehicle wiring harness here and your taillight here, and this will go in between the two, and that's what gives the signal to our trailer wiring. So to wrap up our look at the wiring for Dodge Journeys with incandescent lights, if you're looking for something that's quick and easy and you're only going to be towing a trailer once or twice, the Curt's a great option for you. If you're going to be towing frequently or towing a lot of different trailers out there with lights on them, and you want to have that added security of your lighting circuitry on your vehicle being isolated, the Tekonsha is definitely the way to go for that. And that completes our look at the best trailer wiring options for the Dodge Journey.
Click the link below to shop, learn more, or visit us at etrailer.com.